So it is March. It is March already. How does are you where you expected to be by this time of the year? Personally, to be quite honest, I am not. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? Have things gone according to your plans this year so far? And is that necessarily good or bad? Let's get into it. Hello, I'm Olivia D'Souza. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I'm a content and podcast expert. I support visionary entrepreneurs and leaders passionate about living with purpose. Join me as we explore podcasting, life, business, and authenticity. Subscribe for meaningful conversations with a business buddy who gets what it's like. Welcome to Magnetic Pod. I'm stepping in the next little me. I'm here to be everything. So, over the Christmas break and over January, that is also always a weird time for me as a business owner and also a mum who is juggling all of the things and wanting to be the best mum I can possibly be and give my kids the best memories. And I don't know about you, but if you're a mum listening to this, and, you know, you send your kids to the holiday programs, look, if they love it, that's an easy decision. But sometimes there's been various stages of that and various stages of enthusiasm, levels of enthusiasm, So maybe you might be able to relate to the idea of mum guilt and wanting to actually create some special holiday memories. And so I find during that period of time, my business is in maintenance mode, and I just kind of make sure that the things are happening so that clients are getting their work done, meeting deadlines. But it is, apart from that, I don't work on the business. I work in the business. I basically make sure that that nothing falls over, but I will not do as much. So from February, that was supposed to be a momentum time, and I started this season of the podcast with a daily podcast, and I've kept at it and all of that sort of thing. So I'm really happy with that. But there were other things that were meant to happen which have not happened. There's been without getting into everything, I think, you know, you can overshare, so I won't go into everything, but there's definitely been things that didn't go according to plan and health issues that I've had to deal with for, you know, taking my daughter off to hospital, and she's fine, but, you know, things not going to plan, and also having to find different support in different areas of my life. So that slowed things down. So by this time, I was supposed to be promoting certain offers and creating certain things, and it hasn't happened. And now we're in March, and I'm like, but definitely I can actually see definite positives from everything that's happened, and every negative. I can see advantages in it. There's been some advantages too, even though it's not what I would have chosen, and some of the things I can see an ultimate positive. This is a little bit difficult to talk to because in a way, because I can't reveal everything. It's not my business too. But yeah, there's been some things that happened that are not what I would have chosen, but I can see that it's for the best, let's say. And so that reminded me of a story, which is, it kind of ties in with my previous episode, which is about faith, but it's also about an old story, and I Googled to try and find it because I remembered the gist of it. So I found it. So I'll just tell you the story. It's the farmer and his horse. And in this story, the horse runs away, and the neighbours lament and say, that's so bad. That's terrible. And the farmer says, maybe. And the next day, the horse returns home, and bringing with it several wild horses, and the neighbours say, yay, that's so good. And the farmer says, maybe. And then the farmer's son tries to tame one of the horses and ends up injured. And the neighbours say, "Oh no, that's bad." And the farmer says, "Maybe." And then the next day, the army comes to the village to draft all the young men for the army to go off to war. And his son can't go because he's injured. He's got a broken leg, and all the neighbours congratulate the farmer. "Oh, that's so good." And the farmer replies, "Maybe." And apparently that story is often associated with the Taoist teachings, which is that events are not inherently good or bad, but that we project our beliefs onto them, which is also, last year I did the course in miracles, and basically has the same message. You say things like, some of the learnings are, "I have given this thing that all the meaning that it has for me," or things like, "Help me to see this situation differently." So I guess where I'm going with this is, it's another take on faith and seeing beyond appearances. So where in life are you giving things meaning or saying that things are bad? And what if that's not the whole picture? For example, I got in part of the thing of doing podcast guest outreach is I've had an incredible hit rate, and I've had a lot of people respond positively to my email outreach. So that's been wonderful. But one person in particular didn't. And I think it probably got them hit them at a bad moment, and they felt like, they didn't receive it in the way that I intended, and didn't think it was, I guess, personal enough, and basically complained, "Don't reach out, don't spam me, get me off your list." And the usual response to that would be, "Okay, no, either no response or okay, no worries, done, you're taken off the list." But when I actually looked at who it was, I went, I really admire this person, and the thing that they talk about is a thing I deeply care about, and that actually affects me in my life. And so I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose, and I'm only going to send out a positive message that it can only do good. So I very truthfully told this person that I happily would take them off the list, but that I want them to know that I actually really admire the content they're creating, that it means a lot, that I personally have experience in XYZ that they talk about and can relate to this. And I wrote it in a way that you can't write unless you had the personal experience, the lived experience of what that person's podcast was about. And I just delivered a very sincere message that I really felt about, wishing them all the best and so on. I won't go into all the details of what I put, but that actually ended up being received really well, and ended up being what could be considered a positive. So yeah, it's just a matter of not making judgments on what you see. It's not always, we jump to conclusions a lot. Like those people that are offended by, if you respond with a thumbs up emoji, some people think that's incredibly rude, apparently, because it's lazy. And I don't know, people it's a generational thing. Apparently that's seen as rude. But what if it wasn't intended as rude? Yeah. What if someone declines your invitation to go out and you could read into it whether you're being rejected or whether it's just that they genuinely can't go? And that's one that, sometimes I'm reaching out for certain things, and I have to be the one to create get-togethers and things. And I have to tell myself, to be honest, to not put any meaning on whether people, you don't know what's going on in someone's head or what. And we can often create a meaning around, or a story, make things mean things, when we just don't know the full picture of anything. In our little human existence, we can only see a very small amount of the bigger picture. And that's a big thing I believe in, and a big thing that probably comes through in a lot of my different podcasts. If you go back to my Anisha Morjani episode, you'll see a bit more about, in a deeper way, where that's coming from. But yeah, I think we only in this life see things from a small amount, a small perspective, and we are very good at projecting and labeling things as good and bad. So what if we just, had faith and saw beyond appearances and, didn't catastrophize about the things in our lives, didn't assume the worst of people or situations? How much could we achieve? How better could the outcomes be if we reframed the way that we saw things that happen? Does that make sense to you? What do you think? What are your thoughts? Is there anything in your life that you're judging as a bad thing that perhaps may be for the best? That's not there's loss in certain things that we go through that I want to honor that people go through. But, a lot of the time we create a lot of our dramas as well. So sometimes it's a good thing to remember and have a refreshed perspective on how we look at things. Anyway, that's it from me today. If you've got anything you'd like me to talk about in future episodes, drop me a line. Any questions, any podcasting related questions, or anything about being in business, entrepreneurship, or just life, because I like to talk about a wide variety of things. Drop me a line, let me know. Talk to me. My contact details are in the show notes, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I'm stepping in the next level me. I'm here to be everything I can be. Like a snake, I'm shedding my skin to be my level next level me. I'm stepping in the next level me. I'm here to be everything I can be. Give you whiplash when you turn around and see me go again. Next level me. It's time to be. Hello, it's Livy here. Have you ever wondered about what the key elements are that make a podcast truly stand out? Or maybe you're thinking about starting your own special podcast and feel a bit overwhelmed and don't know where to start. Well, I have something for you. Introducing the ultimate podcast checklist. Da, 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 da. It's a step-by-step guide that covers everything from the initial brainstorming to advanced growth strategies. It's the perfect companion for both new and seasoned podcasters. And the best part, it's absolutely free. Da, 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 da. To grab your copy, simply head to the show notes of this episode and you will find a direct link there, and then away you go. Remember, every podcast started with that initial spark and the right resource, so let the ultimate podcasting checklist be yours.